yesterday and I haven't looked it over, so I don't really remember what order we go in, but formulas. Execute is the big ability. Best when at low rage because it starts with a base of 600 damage. At 10 rage, if you cancel like the rage modifier out, 600 over 10 is 60 damage per rage, which is pretty much as good as it gets minus one better ability. Bloodthirst is just hard. Attack power scaling sucks when you first start. When you first hit 60, it's going to be pretty bad. Scales super hard. Heroic Strike has no damage scaling at all. The only scaling you get is from X in the denominator, which is the rage cost. So as you get better gear, Heroic Strike actually becomes less efficient per rage. You get to use it more often, so it'll be a lot more of your damage, but it actually is worse the better your gear is. And then
Wait,
this is
what's
the
X?
formula for X is rage cost.
Mm.
Because Heroic Strike does a flat 157 bonus damage, and it costs 12 rage plus whatever rage you're losing from the white hit. Because it only it soaks up your white hit.
Right, the rage you're not generating.
You can lose like 5 rage, maybe with daggers up to like 40 if you crit with the big weapon. So it can be super expensive. And then Whirlwind, just your weapon damage plus an attack power scaling, but it's cut by 14, so it's not nearly as much. Times a weapon modifier, which is just what type of weapon it is. So for your daggers, salami, it'll be way lower, which is what you're worried about, saying that Whirlwind's not very good. And then two-handers are like twice as effective. And then Overpower is the exact same formula as Whirlwind, plus 35 damage on top divided by 5. So it's 5 times better than Whirlwind for a single target. Overpower will be better than Execute in a lot of spots, but it takes a GCD. It only costs 5 rage, so it's not always as good as it seems. Thought this was just for Salami, so I just use his dagger that I think you're still wearing right now. You still have the blue 55 dagger?
No.
No.
Are
Okay,
you
well, let's pretend you did.
sure? I never had a blue
1,000.
55 dagger.
What? When I inspected you, this is what you had.
Negative. You might have inspected Red Dot because I know that he has one.
Yeah,
Oh.
Red Dot.
Okay, so for Red Dot, assuming he has a very low AP value of 1,000, which in raid you'll never have 1,000 AP with buffs, consumes, all that stuff. Whirlwind is 7.7 damage per rage. Rogue Strike is 8.5. So Rogue Strike is a little better, but the problem is when you crit, Whirlwind, everything, all our damage scales by 2.2 whenever we crit. So Whirlwind is just 2.2 times that. But when you crit on Heroic Strike, your white hit also crits. So you're missing the extra rage from that crit. So it's not like the same scaling of 2.2. It's 1.4 or something like that. And this is at 1,000 AP. You need like 30% crit for it to be about equal. Once you start getting any more AP than this, the difference is way more drastic. So this is just same thing in a little outline. Once you start getting some good AP, even with daggers, for non-crits, like Whirlwind's already closing in on twice as good, twice as effective. Whirlwind is 11.3 damage per rage. This is Heroic Strike, 7.3 for 1750 AP. This is about the AP where Heroic Strike and Whirlwind are equal. After that, you always prioritize Whirlwind over Heroic Strike. Always, always, always. Unless you're in defensive stance, obviously. I put 30 for the Rage for Execute just because I'm trying to like match up Rage cost for all of these. But remember, I said for 10 Rage, Execute is 60 damage per Rage. So you can kind of just put 60 here and just always press Execute, and you are good. This for
Hold on,
swords.
I got a question.
Hello.
For daggers, what's your DPR when your Fell Striker procs?
1 million.
1 million.
This. All crits.
I was just joking. You can keep going.
Can you lock in,
So
please?
I put in
My bad.
1,000 AP for a Thrash Blade, which I realized didn't really account for the extra hit, but that doesn't matter. So when you have 1,000 AP with the Thrash Blade, Whirlwind is already almost twice as good as Heroic Strike. Just plugging in the formulas because that's all you got to do. So just press Whirlwind. Moral of the story today. And it gets the Whirlwind scales with AP, and remember Heroic Strike scales like inversely. So once you get 750 more AP, Whirlwind is like 50% better. Heroic Strike is 10% worse. Something like that.
Yeah, the biggest thing I've
Bloodthirst
learned so
starts to
far
get way better. Always execute.
is to prioritize execute over bloodthirst.
Always.
Yeah.
Unless. Oh, wait. What do we think the DPR of Overpower is?
What are the chance of
It's like the highest ability DPR. But
86.
yeah, see, it's disgusting. But
So-
you would only do it if you're not dumping like 80
Yeah.
rage.
But yeah, the issue is this. It's only 5
Yep.
rage. So if you're like stalling a GCD, you're going to rage cap yourself, or you're going to dump rage from tactical or from switching stances. You're preventing an execute for like 40 rage. You're preventing a bloodthirst. It's like more efficient to get 26 DPR from 30 rage than it is 86 from 5 a lot of the time. So this is kind of like a bait number. Overpower is good, but it's not like as good as this number seems. It's just a funny number to look at. Bloodthirst scales with attack power. Execute scales by nothing. It's just like a base level 60 warrior does the exact same with execute as someone in full bis. The only thing it scales off is rage. So you set these two equal to each other, and at 2k attack power, execute is the exact same as bloodthirst for 30 rage. So if you go over 2k AP, now bloodthirst is priority over execute if you have 30 rage. If you have 10, remember this is 60. Yeah. And then
I guarantee you, none of us without world buffs are not hitting the 2k AP.
I know.
So
I am.
execute. You actually do hit it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
With Earth Strike up and one
Oh,
Crusader
okay.
proc, they hit 2k.
Yep. Okay. Yeah. When things are procced at the right time.
And when you're looking at when you want to press Whirlwind, just like look at this number and multiply it. So Bloodthirst is 31.5 DPR, Whirlwind's 18. 18 times 2 is 36. So if you have, there's 2 targets, you probably Whirlwind. And then just for the memes, since Whirlwind scales by AP, eventually it'll pass Execute. So if you have a dank 4200 AP, Whirlwind's better than Execute on a single target. This is just, if someone's recording, you can kind of like just take notes. This is just like your priority list from what I went over earlier. One target with 1,000 AP on daggers, like Whirlwind's garbage. You only press Whirlwind when there's 4 targets compared to Execute.
Yep.
You start to get more AP, you're pressing Whirlwind at 3 targets. And then, yeah, same thing for swords. I should have done one for like 1,300 or 1,400 because 1,750 is a big jump from 1,000. Massive jump.
I think like with the 20-man gear, this is kind of where you sit. 1750.
Okay.
My biggest thing I need to upgrade at the moment are my weapons because they're both doo-doo.
Yep. And then once you get a good amount of AP with swords, Whirlwind is more damage per rage, 4 targets, than even a 10 rage execute. So you're pretty much always prioritizing 10 rage execute, except for when you start to get more AP with slower weapons.
Mhm.
And then this is my current gear when my AP caps 3 target Whirlwind is about the same as a 10 rage execute. So Whirlwind's better, better, better. And then you'll see Bloodthirst here is prio over execute for me. In a lot of fights, you can't press Whirlwind twice, but you will be able to press Bloodthirst twice. So if, like in ZG on the packs that Maester likes to MC, say you're charging into like 1 elite and like 3 smaller mobs, Thunder first, obviously, but then you want to Bloodthirst first. You don't want to Whirlwind first. Because if you Whirlwind, you're going to Bloodthirst, and then all the small mobs are going to die. You're going to be left with 1 mob, and now your Bloodthirst is on cooldown. Whereas if you Bloodthirst it first, you'll still be able to Whirlwind all the small mobs, but now you Bloodthirst on or up earlier. So you can start pressing that again. So just, yeah, think about what you want to do during the fight. Don't just press the button because it's more damage now. Think about what buttons you're going to press throughout the whole fight. And sneak in cheeky Whirlwinds whenever you can. Will add a lot to your damage.
Question, Mr. Teacher, sir. Have we
Sir.
talked about Heroic Strike?
Raise your hand next time.
Oh, sorry.
No. Heroic Strike canceling. What?
Or
That'll be
queuing?
next class.
Oh, okay.
Class 2 advanced for today. Heroic Strike queuing is just turning on Heroic Strike for your offhand hit, so Heroic Strike doesn't actually go off. And then turning it off before your main hand hits. And all that does is increase your chance to hit of your offhand. Very, very, very small DPS increase, but it's something you can do on single target fights when you're just sitting there mashing Bloodthirst anyway.
If anyone ever does that perfectly without gimping their DPS, I will prio you gear on everything.
Yeah.
Jagger's raising his hand.
It's hard to, it's, yeah, something you can do on just, single target standing there fights, but good luck doing it anyway.
Jug is raising his hand. Hold on, wait. I gotta unsub and mute him. There we go. Okay, go Jugger.
Okay. And I have a question about something.
Mhm.
And you put the if you have 2,000 of AP, but how many AP you can get without the buff?
Without the world buffs?
Yes.
About
Yeah,
this.
it's usually around 1750. But it depends on when, like, your Crusader or Earthstrike.
You got,
pops.
Diamond Flask up, 2
Yeah.
Crusader procs. There's a
Yep.
Hunter in your group. So it's tough to get this, but it's definitely possible.
Okay, because I was thinking on that, and on my warrior, I don't get like 1,000.
That's
As much AP that I get is like 1,000, 1,100 maybe.
during raid when you're fully buffed, fully consumed, and Crusaders procced, you'll have like 1800 probably. Sound
Okay,
true?
gotcha.
I have a
Thank you.
WeCore that tells me my AP during fights, so that helps a little bit.
Can you link that one in
Sure. After
Thank you.
this.
Hey, I'm late. Can you restart?
Shut up.
It's being recorded.
This is for you, Doug. Gear swaps. I know a lot of people like to like prio stam over other stats, like just in general. I'm a big fan of having fight specific gear swaps, so a lot of the time that's just going like full pump or putting on your tank set. My favorite fights are the ones where you can like itemize specifically for the fight. There's not a lot of them. It's like who's one of them, but that's more just so you don't die.
Satura.
Satura, yeah, Satura. Put on your tank set for sure.
Please.
And
Fire
Rajax, put on your tank set. This is damage taken for our last Rajax fight. It took 24k damage, and Rajax like isn't a DPS race, so just literally put on all your tankiest gear. You should, I think, always have your full tank set and your full pump set on you at all times, especially in 20 and 40 mans, so you can just switch through them. Doug and I'm assuming Doug put on a lot of tanky stuff here because you mitigated a lot of damage too. But you know, warriors are just taking so much damage here, and we're in charge of picking up mobs. So doing, I don't know, 10% more damage isn't a big issue at all. Just don't die. So we're tanky gear. But on Moam, I walked in and I think I took the first melee, and I sappered, and I still only took like 2.5k damage. So you can do Moam with base stam. You literally don't need a single point of stam to do Moam. It's just a DPS race. And this is the same for like Assyrian, current axe, unless you're running with 1/4 and eating 4 sand traps. Like you
What?
don't need stam at all. So just pump.
How much
Should still
damage did you?
respect
How much damage did you take on the slime?
You should
The
still
slime?
respect threat though on fights like this.
Yeah,
where
yeah,
you-
of course. Yeah.
So if you're gonna put on all your DPS gear, pump set, or whatever, make sure you respect the threat. Otherwise, the boss will turn around and slap you.
Get a threat table if you don't have it. Don't be me. Yeah, this is just like a list of where I think you should wear pump and chunk sets. Pump set on all the bosses I listed. Whenever using rec, for sure. Pretty much everything we're doing today in BWL, you don't need to wear any stam gear as a DPS. Then at Ragex, as I said, anything with a threat drop, I recommend wearing a tanky set or like Mandicure if we're still not doing the temple strat for the 4th week in a row.
We are still doing it.
Perfect. So wear your pump set. And then for fight specific gearing, Fire Maw is my favorite boss in the game for that reason, because you get to build a set just for him. He puts on a flame buffet on everyone in line of sight, and this can stack very high. Once you get to like 8 stacks, you gotta hide, so you're just literally sitting out of the fight for like, I don't know what it is, 20 seconds, 30 seconds.
8 stacks is crazy.
Okay, less than that, sorry, even better. Uptime is key in this game. You can still do really good damage by having crap gear, as long as you're just hitting stuff. But yeah, if you're hiding from Fire Maw, you're obviously not doing damage. So I'm just throwing this in there for fun. Get a fire set for Fire Maw. These Fire God shoulders, people pass on them in MC all the time, which I think is super troll. A couple people in the guild can make these dragon scale boots. They do require some MC mats, but I think we have plenty of those. You get a ring from the Dallas quest line, which gives you 15 fire res for a ring slot. Is crazy.
That ring is huge.
Yeah, I had to flex this. If you can somehow pick this up in Ubers, where it's good. And then there's this trinket. It's level 38 trinket, costs like 15 gold on the auction house. 15 fire res, and then when your stacks start to pile up a little bit, you can pop it to get 50 more fire res, and it doesn't share a cooldown with diamond flask or anything like that. So you can just pop it to try to dump stacks, and if it doesn't, if the 50 fire res doesn't help you at all, you just hide. But yeah, and then consumes. Obviously, want a GFPP rolling, but like while we're waiting for Firemaw to patrol around and find a good pull, pop one of these guys. Increase your fire res by 50. It doesn't stack with Pally Aura. So if you don't have a Pally in your group, this thing's really good. And then Juju Ember, obviously. So it seems like by throwing a lot of this on, like you're gimping your DPS. So we can see how much it gimps our DPS by learning how to sim. This is the sim I use. I think it's best. WowSims.com. Use it alongside an add-on. You come into import. Once you're in the add-on, you can copy a text file over that allows you to import. You come import add-on and then just copy the text file in or paste the text file in. And it'll just load up everything. For us, the default settings are wrong because it throws in like world buffs and all that stuff. So just make sure you're coming in here, clicking all these guys off. And I should probably uncheck that because never have a feral druid in our group. And then you want to come
use Holly.
here.
Sorry, use Firewater over Juju Might, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
true. Yeah, change this too. Nobody uses that.
Yeah.
It's 5 AP, but still. Then come into advance and you want to change, you want to make sure this level is correct so that your hit chance from against the level 63s is being calculated right. I just keep them undead just to see what my damage would be like for the undead trinket, but that doesn't matter. This is what my gear sims for 990. I took all of my gear off to see what it's like when I put my full fire res set on, and like just assuming I really get my damage. It's only 25% worse than if I was wearing all my gear. So just shows like on Firemaw, like having that fire res set and staying in and doing damage the whole time, even if you're like naked, it's just way better than having to hide. I think that's it. Oh, last thing, movement speed on boots is king. That's it. Goodbye. Any questions?
Yeah, why is movement speed king?
No questions about that, sir.
It's for the
Keep
exact
up
same
with all the
reason that
idiots
fire
that
resist
have it.
set.
Yeah. Tell them.
If you get to things faster, then
More uptime.
huzzah. More
Time is king.
uptime. You can pick up mobs easier. Something's running towards the caster stat.
Get bonked
Gotcha,
first
gotcha.
for more rage.
Doug doesn't need movement speed boots, he'll die faster.
That's the bonk thing is Pajama's favorite thing.
If stun
For
isn't
dodging
incurring
sand
me on the
traps.
first three pulls, I'm not happy.
If you can get a tinkier set of like boots as well, you can put stam on them, and then you can like mix and match.
Yep. Yeah, totally fine. It like throw